All right, let's get this deep dive started. Today, we're tackling Croatian tourism,
Ooh, interesting.
but not just like, the usual travel brochure stuff.
Ah,
We're going deep, right? Like really deep.
I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
So we found this article, right, from a Croatian culinary blog called Utrukani Pelin.
I've heard of that blog. What's the article say?
Well, the title is, get this, Hrvatski turizam na prekretniki, ilusija luksusa arili pod prima propasti.
Oh, that doesn't sound good. What does that even mean?
Yeah, it's a mouthful, right?
Yeah.
It basically translates to Croatian tourism at a crossroads illusion of luxury, or the road to ruin.
Wow. Dramatic much.
Yeah, a little bit, but it definitely grabs your attention.
Okay, sure.
And the author is basically arguing that Croatian tourism might be headed for some serious trouble.
That's a pretty bold statement.
Right. So we're going to break it all down. What's got this author so worried? What's at the heart of this crossroads situation?
Okay, I'm all ears.
So the author's big concern, the core of it all, is that Croatia's been leaning way too hard on this whole sun and sea thing.
You mean like beaches and nice water?
Exactly. Beautiful beaches, crystal clear Adriatic, the whole package.
Right.
But the problem is a lot of other countries offer that same thing.
True, Croatia isn't the only one with stunning coastlines.
Exactly. You could go to Greece, Italy, Spain, so many places for that sun and sea vibe.
So Croatia needs something more, something to make it stand out.
You got it. And that's where this whole illusion of luxury thing comes in.
Illusion, huh? That's an interesting choice of words.
Yeah, so the author's saying that in Croatia, prices have gone way up, but the quality of the tourism experience hasn't always kept pace.
Ouch, that's gotta hurt if you're a tourist shelling out big bucks.
I know, right? And it gets even more specific.
Mm.
They even call out some Croatian restaurants. They compare them to like those super fancy Michelin star places.
I'm guessing it's not a compliment.
Nope. The author says the food in some of these pricey Croatian restaurants is just average, like basic tavern fare.
Whoa, shots fired. That's gotta sting for those restaurant owners.
It does make you wonder, if the food's not even that great, why are people paying these outrageous prices?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question.
Right. What's the draw?
Yeah.
So the author's argument is that Croatia's getting a little complacent.
Complacent?
They're kind of resting on their laurels, like they've got this reputation for gorgeous scenery, amazing history, and they're assuming tourists will just keep on coming, even if the prices are high and the quality is, well, inconsistent.
That's a risky gamble. What happens when those tourists start realizing they have other options?
That's exactly what the article gets into. And they even point to some specific countries that are becoming competition for Croatia.
Like who?
They mention Albania and Bulgaria. Apparently, they're becoming super popular with tourists.
Interesting. What are they doing differently?
Well, for one thing, they're cheaper. But it's not just about price.
What else is it then?
They're really focusing on authenticity. Like genuine cultural experiences, getting off the beaten path, interacting with locals.
Sounds like they're tapping into what a lot of modern tourists are looking for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the big lesson for Croatia. It's not enough to just be beautiful anymore.
Makes sense. So what's the solution? What does Croatia need to do to step up its game?
That's what we're going to find out. Okay, so we figured out that Croatia needs a bit of a tourism shakeup.
Needs more than a bit, if you ask this author.
Oh, they're not holding back, are they? What's the most radical thing they suggest?
Buckle up, because this one's a doozy.
Okay, I'm ready.
They actually think Croatia should reduce the number of low-quality tourism establishments.
Whoa, slow down there. That sounds pretty extreme. What do they even mean by low quality?
You know those typical tourist traps? Every destination has them.
Yeah, okay, I get it.
Those places with the generic menus, overpriced drinks, and service that feels like they're just going through the motions.
Yeah, the places that give you that, like, manufactured tourist experience feeling.
Exactly. And the author's saying these places are actually harming the overall perception of Croatian tourism.
So it's not about shutting down every little family-run place.
No, not at all. It's more about raising the bar across the board.
So basically weeding out the places that are dragging down the reputation of the entire industry.
Right. And this is especially true when it comes to food, apparently.
Oh, I can see that. One bad meal can really ruin your impression of a country's cuisine.
Totally. And the author really believes Croatia has so much culinary potential,
Yeah, with all the fresh seafood and regional specialties.
Exactly. But that gets lost when every restaurant is serving the same old pizza and pasta.
Okay, so how do you actually go about reducing the number of low-quality places? Seems like a tough thing to enforce.
It would definitely be tricky. but the author has a few ideas.
Like what?
Well, for starters, they suggest stricter regulations and quality standards.
So making sure places meet certain criteria for hygiene, service quality, things like that.
Exactly. And they also suggest offering more training and resources to businesses.
Okay, so giving them the tools to actually improve their offerings.
Right, like workshops on local cuisine, customer service training, that kind of thing.
That sounds more like a partnership than just cracking down on businesses.
Definitely. The author seems to think that most businesses would be willing to improve if they had the right support.
Makes sense. It's in everyone's best interest to create a thriving tourism scene.
Totally. And the author makes it clear that this isn't just about profits, it's about preserving Croatia's cultural heritage.
So making sure tourism benefits local communities in a sustainable way.
Exactly. Okay, ready for another radical solution?
Hit me with it.
This one's all about investing in hospitality worker education.
Okay, that makes sense. The people who interact with tourists every day can really make or break the experience.
100%. And the author argues that it's not enough to just teach the basic stuff.
Like how to take an order and smile politely.
Yeah. They need a much deeper understanding of what modern tourists are looking for.
So more than just service with a smile, they need to be knowledgeable about the local culture, history.
Absolutely. And they need to be able to offer personalized recommendations, go the extra mile.
Imagine a server who can tell you all about the history of a dish or recommend a hidden gem off the beaten path.
Right. It makes it feel less like a transaction and more like a genuine connection with the place.
Okay, I'm sold on that.
Yeah.
But let's be real, it takes more than just training staff to really transform the industry.
Yeah.
We need new tourism products, right?
You're reading the author's mind. They say Croatia has to diversify its offerings, go beyond the sun and sea.
So what do they suggest? What kind of new experiences should Croatia focus on?
Well, they have a whole list. Cultural tourism is a big one.
Makes sense. Croatia's got this incredible history, vibrant traditions. There's a lot to explore there.
Tons of potential. They're talking cooking classes, craft workshops, all sorts of immersive cultural experiences.
That sounds amazing. What else?
Gastronomy tourism is another big one.
Oh, yeah. The food scene in Croatia is incredible. So much to discover beyond pizza and pasta.
Exactly. They could offer food tours, wine tastings, farm-to-table dining. The possibilities are endless.
Okay, I'm officially starving. What other tourism gems does Croatia have hiding?
Well, how about active tourism?
Oh, I see where this is going. Croatia's got some amazing natural landscapes, perfect for hiking and biking.
Exactly. And kayaking, rock climbing, all sorts of adventure activities.
It's about appealing to tourists who want more than just a beach vacation.
Right. They want to get out there, explore, get their adrenaline pumping.
Okay, I'm convinced. Sign me up for Croatian adventure. Anything else?
Oh, they have one more ace up their sleeve. Rural tourism.
Rural tourism. I'm intrigued. What's that all about?
Imagine staying in a charming village in the Croatian countryside, learning about traditional ways of life.
Ooh, that sounds peaceful. A total escape from the city.
Exactly. It's about experiencing the authentic, slower pace of life.
Okay, this author has painted a beautiful picture. I'm sold on the vision. But let's be real, this kind of change takes time. And it'll probably face some pushback.
Oh, absolutely. It's an ambitious vision, but the author believes it's possible.
So how do they think this transformation will happen?
They're calling for a collective effort. The government, local authorities, tourism businesses, even tourists, everyone needs to be on board.
It's about creating a shared responsibility for the success of the industry.
Exactly. Everyone has a stake in this. And they end the article with this powerful call to action.
Tell me more.
They're basically saying, wake up, people. The time for change is now.
Wow, strong words. It really makes you think about your own travel choices, doesn't it?
That's what I love about this article. It's not just criticizing, it's challenging us to be better tourists.
So as we move towards wrapping up this deep dive, what are the main takeaways for our listeners? What can they do to be more responsible travelers, especially in places like Croatia that are trying to find a more sustainable way forward?
Well, first things first, do your homework.
Research.
Yeah, go beyond those glossy brochures. Seek out businesses that are truly committed to sustainability.
Read reviews, look for certifications, that sort of thing.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to venture off the beaten path.
Try the local spots. Talk to the locals. Get a feel for the real Croatia.
Right. It's about creating genuine connections, not just consuming experiences.
And at the end of the day, it's about realizing that every choice we make as travelers has an impact.
We can choose to support businesses that are doing things right. And by doing that, we're demanding more from the tourism industry as a whole.
It's about being an active participant in the travel experience, not just a passive observer.
You got it. And who knows, you might even discover something truly amazing along the way.
That's the magic of travel, right? It's a chance to learn and grow and connect with the world. And if we all try to travel more responsibly, those opportunities will be there for future generations.
And that's something worth fighting for, right?
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We talked about how Croatia needs to step up its game, ditch the sun and sea routine, offer something truly special.
More than just a pretty beach.
Exactly. And we touched on how important it is to focus on quality over quantity.
Right, not just attracting hordes of tourists, but creating meaningful experiences.
But I'm still curious, what's the driving force behind all of this? What's the ultimate goal? What's the big picture?
Well, this author is really hammering home one key point.
Yeah.
It all comes down to creating a genuinely positive experience for every single guest.
Okay, sure. Happy tourists. Will make sense.
But it's more than just making sure everyone has a good time at the beach.
It's deeper than that.
Oh, yeah. The author breaks it down into some very specific areas.
Okay, let's hear it.
They talk about quality service, obviously, and cleanliness, safety, all the basics.
Right, yeah, I have those covered.
But then they take it a step further.
How so?
They talk about offering diverse options, things that cater to different interests.
So not just the beachgoers, but also folks who are into history, culture, adventure.
Exactly, something for everyone. But above all else, they emphasize the importance of authenticity.
That word keeps coming up.
It's key. Tourists want that genuine Croatian experience.
They want to feel like they're really connecting with the culture, the people, the heart of the place, right?
Absolutely. But let's be honest, this kind of transformation is a tall order.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of work.
The author acknowledges that. They even say it requires collaboration across the board.
So everyone needs to be involved.
The government, local authorities, tourism businesses, even tourists themselves.
Whoa, so it's a shared responsibility.
You got it. Everyone has a part to play in making this happen. And the author ends with this really powerful message. It's a call to action.
Oh, I love a good call to action. What do they say?
It's basically wake up, people. The time for change is now.
Wow. No mincing words there.
Nope, they're serious. And it really gets you thinking, right? What kind of impact are we having as tourists?
Yeah, are we part of the problem or are we part of the solution?
That's the beauty of this article. It makes us question our own choices.
So before we wrap up this deep dive, let's bring it back to our listener for a sec.
What can they do?
Yeah, what can they do to be a more responsible tourist? Especially in places like Croatia that are trying to find a more sustainable path.
Well, the first step is simple. Do your research.
Don't just blindly book the first package deal you see.
Exactly. Look beyond those flashy brochures. Find businesses that are genuinely committed to sustainability and authenticity.
So read reviews, check for certifications, really dig deep.
Right, and don't be afraid to step off the well-worn tourist path,
Venture out, explore those hidden gems, talk to the locals, try the local cuisine, that kind of thing.
You got it. It's all about making those genuine connections. Remember, every choice we make as travelers has an impact.
We can choose to support businesses that are doing things right, and by doing that, we're sending a message to the entire tourism industry.
We're saying, hey, we want more of this. We want authenticity. We want sustainability.
Voting with our wallets and our footsteps.
Exactly. And who knows, we might just discover something truly special along the way.
Well said. It sounds like we've got a lot to think about. And hey, maybe even some trip planning to do. Thanks for joining me for this deep dive into Croatian tourism.
Thanks for having me. It's been a fascinating conversation.